Welcome everybody. Today I'm in the Monument of Junín where our brothers Peruvian fights for the independence of Peru. But I won't talk about of this. I will talk about the Great War. The Great War, or more known as the World War I, was a warlike confrontation mainly in Europe. This took place between the years 1914 and 1918. Before we start talking the war, first we have to know the antecedents and the causes. Between the years 1871 to 1914, after the Industrial Revolution, the nation take the opportunity to equip themselves with weapons, but they didn't enter in a warlike conflict. This time was called the Armed Peace. The great powers were competing for who managed to monopolize more territory throughout the world, mainly in Africa, but Germany was late to the division and wanted to expand its territory at the expense of its neighbors. Also, France wanted to regain the territory that Germany had taken from it in the Franco-Prussian War. The real trigger of the World War I was when a Serbian nationalist killed Archduke Franz Ferdinand and his wife on June 28, 1914 in Sarajevo. This assassination caused a diplomatic crisis between Austria-Hungary and Serbia, which led to the declaration of war between the two countries. First, the Austro-Hungarian Empire declared war on Serbia. Likewise, Russia declared war on Austro-Hungary Empire in defense of Serbia. Germany declared war on Russia and France, while the United Kingdom declared war on Germany. So later, more countries joined to the war, supporting a respective side. The war started. Germany was thinking of attacking France quickly, reaching the capital by means of an invasion of Belgium and then sending its tanks to attack Russia. But France resisted, and this war that they thought would last a few months lasted more than 4 years. Many fronts were fought. Among them, the most important were the Eastern Front and the Western Front. At first, Germany was succeeding on the Western Front, managed to invade Belgium and gain French territory, but the United Kingdom, France, and what was left of Belgium resisted, and Germany staged 150 kilometers from Paris. An encrypted message was leaked, revealing that German troops are done. So France and the United Kingdom stopped the German attack with a counterattack, marking the start of the trench wars. On the Eastern Front, Russia was attacking strongly against the Austro-Hungarian Empire, so Germany had to send reinforcements from the Western Front to the Eastern Front, and they managed to repel the Russians and even managed to gain part of the territory. In the trenches, the soldiers lived in terrible conditions and suffered from different diseases, including trench foot, which was an infection caused by having a wet foot at low temperatures for a long time, which in the worst case reached to the amputation of the leg or even death. There was two sides, the Triple Entente and the Triple Alliance. On the one hand, the Triple Entente was formed in the first instance by France, the United Kingdom, and Russia. However, sometime later, the United States, Italy, Japan, and other countries joined. On the other hand, the Triple Alliance, or Central Powers, was originally formed by Germany, the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and Italy. However, Italy changed sides, and later the Ottoman Empire and the Kingdom of Bulgaria joined together with other countries. The most memorable event that caught my attention was what happened on the afternoon of December 24, 1814. The German soldiers started decorating with leaves and trees the trench and shouted for a truce from the British. The British soldiers, with many doughboys in their midst, thought that it was an ingenious German trap, so they didn't respond. However, they began to hear sounds from the other side of the trench. It was a group of brave German soldiers who came out of their trench and exposed themselves to the gunshots while singing the Christmas carol that we all know, Silent Night. The British soldiers, still fearful, ventured out and went out as well. Meeting face to face, they began to sing Christmas carols together. Later was organized a chance of gifts and played a saucer match. Everyone had fun, presuming that the score ended 2-3 in favor of Germany. But was the less important. This impressive event is called the Christmas Truce and shows that even in the war, solidarity and cooperation had overcome rivals. Back into the war, Russia was going through a crisis, famines and casualties from war, which led this country to enter a crisis and withdraw from the war with singing and armistice. Consequently, the Bolsheviks established communism in Russia, and Romania finally surrendered without the protection of Russia. On the other hand, German submarines sank every military or civil ship that approached Great Britain, but among one of those ships that sank was the RMS Lusitania, where 128 Americans died and caused the United States to declare war on Germany and its allies. However, this was not the only reason for the United States to enter the war, as the United Kingdom intercepted a German message proposing that Mexico join the war, attacking its neighbor in exchange for land and large amounts of money. Germany was slowly beginning to weaken, having difficulty to defending itself, so it couldn't defend its allies at the same time. This is how it began to lose its colonies in Africa and Oceania, as well as its allies began to fall. Bulgaria was the first, then the Ottoman Empire followed, and later the Austro-Hungarian Empire. In a last and desperate attempt to win the war, Germany tried to invade the capital of France before the United States struck the right. However, the poorly fit and very weak soldiers could do no more. Germany ended up falling back to finished by the reinforcements sent by the United States. After 4 years, 3 months, and 14 days of devastating destruction in the cities of the nation involved, the war finally ended on November 11, 1918 at 11 a.m. The Treaty of Versailles was signed on June 28, 1919, which imposed humiliating sanctions on Germany, especially on the part of France, which caused hatred on the part of Germans toward the winning nations. Thank you for watching this video. Bye.